Hello and good morning. Hope you all had a lovely half term. Today we're going to be continuing with symmetry and looking at symmetric figures. And for your first question today is a true or false question. This pattern below that you can see there has been reflected correctly in the mirror line. So let's check first. This dotted black line here, that is our mirror line there. And we need to check that it's been correctly reflected. So first of all, if you're working on a computer, I would have a piece of paper next to me. I would fold it in half. So you've got a really nice straight edge. I would just go up and put it onto my screen. So at the moment it's on my screen and I can see the pattern on both sides. So using a piece of paper, I can see that this pattern has correctly been reflected. Next, another technique you could do counting squares. So you could start with this square here. So you've got one, and then you've got white one there, white one there. You've got another one there. So they're correct. So you've got white one there, blue, 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 and all the blues there. So you can do counting squares as well to check if it's been reflected correctly. So this first question, true. That pattern has correctly been reflected in the mirror line. And for your second question today, I'd like to identify the patterns with the correct lines of symmetry. Key note here, it says patterns. So there's probably going to be more than one. Use your piece of paper from the last question, have a go at home, and I'll explain which patterns are correct. Okay, once again, I've got my piece of paper. I'm going to put it up to my screen. I'm going to start with A. So looking at A, I can see on both sides that A is correct. So A is one of our correct lines of symmetry. Next, I'm going to go to B. Oh, so using my piece of paper, I can see this square here is either in the wrong place or has not been reflected correctly. So B would not be correct. And finally, C on the horizontal line, guessing my piece of paper. And yes, that would be correct as well. So A and C are correct there. And for your third question, starting off with our problem solving here. So what is the smallest number of squares that need to be filled so that this pattern has a vertical line of symmetry? First thing I'll do would be to draw in the vertical line of symmetry. Now, roughly guessing, it would be here. And then from there, I will then be filling in the squares. So have a go using that vertical line there. How many squares do you think you need so the pattern there is reflected? Okay, coming back here, let's start by colouring in these squares here. So here's one square here. So this one will be coloured in as well. So you've got one white there. So I'm going to leave one white there. Then it's blue again. You know what? Actually, I'm going to make my squares blue so this patterns are correct. Blue one is going to be there. Blue one is going to be there. Next, you've got white, 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 white. So then that one would be the blue one. Now, let's count the squares here. We've got 1, 2, 3 squares before we get to blue ones. So we've got to go 1, 2, 3. So this one will be blue, and then the one next to it, blue. One white there, makes that one blue, and then it's just straight up blue there. So how many squares have I used there to reflect pattern itself done? 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So to make this pattern, the smallest number of squares you needed was 7 squares. Next, for your fourth question, I want you to add 4 squares to the pattern below so that it has a horizontal line of symmetry. I would go at this one at home first before I explain to you what the answer is. Remember, horizontal line is that line. So you need to work out where the horizontal line will go first, then add your 4 squares. So first of all, I would add in my horizontal line. Let's start off by adding it up here. Now, is this the correct spot? First of all, no, it would not be, because there's not enough white squares here for it to be reflected correctly. So that would be the wrong line of symmetry there. Same applies if you put the line of symmetry here. That would also be incorrect for the same reason as previously. So it would go here in the middle. So now you can correctly reflect the pattern. This time it's asked us to add 4 squares. We need to work out which 4 squares are missing. So we can do our little counting squares. We've got 1 square here. 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6 here. There's only 5 up there. So they're missing this square here. So we need to make sure we put that square into this pattern above. So you've got one white one blue one there, one white one there, and then this is the one that is missing. So colour in that one there. So that's one square added in. Let's move on to our next shape. So that is a complete shape now. So this one is missing 2 squares here. So it's missing that one and that one. So it's correctly paired. So we've got one white there, so it makes this one blue square. Got one white, one blue, and another blue. So one white, blue, and another blue there. Count up now. That is now 3 squares. Remember, we've got to put 4 in. You can see up top here. So finally, we need to reflect this shape here. So we've got one white, and then a blue here. Didn't need to use my piece of paper at the time. I used the counting squares method, a lot easier, more efficient way of doing it there. So there are 4 squares to make sure the pattern below is correctly reflected in a horizontal line of symmetry. And for your final question today, I'd like to spot the odd one out and then explain your choice below. So which one is the one between A, B, C, and D? As there are no lines of symmetry, I would have a guess say it's something to do with the lines of symmetry. Have a go at home. I'll explain to you which one is the odd one out. Like I said, it's going to be something to do with the line of symmetry. You can do counting squares like I did for the last question, and you can use your piece of paper. Try and work out what's the same between some of the shapes, or maybe which one is the odd one out. So starting off, let's look at A. I'm going to use my piece of paper for this one. First of all, I'm going to do a horizontal line of symmetry, see if that works. No, it's not reflected correctly. Maybe to try a diagonal one. No, not reflected correctly. But if I do a vertical one, so one going down like this. So it's correct. So this one has a vertical one, put a V above it, so it's got a vertical line of symmetry. Again, doing the same with B, so I'm going to do a horizontal one. No, it doesn't have a horizontal one. I'm going to do a diagonal one. No, it doesn't have a diagonal one. But then I'm going to do a vertical one again. And it does have a vertical one. So something same there between A and B is they've both got vertical lines of symmetry. Next, let's look at C. So again, doing the same test, I'm going to do a horizontal one. Does have a horizontal one. Diagonal doesn't have a diagonal one. Oh, doesn't even have a vertical one because it's this shape here that's not been reflected there. So that one has nothing. C could be our odd one out, but because we know these slides do like to trick us, they're going to be mathematicians, and we're going to check that last shape as well. We're going to check D. So once again, horizontal doesn't have horizontal line symmetry. Diagonal doesn't have a diagonal line symmetry. Finally, vertical does have a vertical line symmetry. So it would be C is your odd one out because A, B, and D have vertical lines of symmetry. Fantastic, great work. Now is your turn. Have a go at challenge sheets. Have a go at challenge sheet of your choice, and I hope every single one of you have a great day.